Here are the horoscopes for the week of the 3rd to the 9th of June 2024. So the week starts with Mercury moving into Gemini, and Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, so things get very communicative, mental, verbal, processing a lot, quite high speed, and lots of interactions bouncing off others. We head towards the new moon in Gemini at 16 degrees, and that's on the 6th at 1:36 p.m. UK time. So we've got Mercury in Gemini, the Sun in Gemini, the Moon going to meet the Sun on the 6th, and also Venus is right next to the Sun on this new moon. So Venus in Gemini is a strange mixture, really. In Tarot, the Lover's card is the card that represents Gemini. So here we can see an element of how Venus would work in this combination. And the twins of Gemini are always bouncing off each other, looking for their other half, needing that interaction. So Venus in Gemini will bring up relationships, communication in relationships, and very much whether we're good in ourselves so that we can learn and grow rather than projecting onto others. So Venus in Gemini is much more easy to understand when we place the tarot card as a pictorial for that, and the theme of this week and this new moon will very much be relationships and relating. So relationships have become synonymous with romantic connections, and yet we relate with everybody we meet, with our outer environment. So to have good relating, we have to actually know ourselves. And with Jupiter in Gemini as well, I feel the relationship template is being broken down. So things have become very consolidated since about the 80s as to what a relationship should be. It's like a contract where two people trying to bind the other person to their will. And most of it's based on fear, not love. So we could look at one aspect of Gemini season this year is the choice of fear or love. The relationship that we have with both of those. Many people try to hold on to a relationship. They want somebody else to love them when they don't love themselves. And many fears come up regarding rejection, abandonment, not being good enough, deception, trust, all of that kind of thing is actually fear, not love. So can we clean up even our idea of what a relationship is? What is coming from a love perspective rather than a fear perspective? Fear is pretty much want and need, whereas love would be to genuinely want the best for the other person and be the best person in yourself and then see how that flows. So especially with Venus in the mix at this new moon and Jupiter starting his stride through Gemini, changing our minds about relating, looking at where we're trying to control and contract rather than creating free soul flow and a high vibration will very much be the theme of this next month. Very strong this week. So we're expanding our perspective, expanding the mind, letting go of external validation and finding our own value first. What we tend to be attracted to in others is something that we have in ourselves that we want to bring forwards. So in a way, talking of contracts, can we even look at the person we're in a relationship with as somebody that our soul contracted into our lives to help us grow, explore, clean our subconscious and expand our consciousness. And this way we're not shooting the messenger, we're not projecting and reacting, but just taking one step back and up if anything happens, and then say, what did I want to learn from this? Even feeling grateful for the other person that's playing that role in the soul contract. So some big themes coming up there, especially for the whole of Gemini really, but mainly the first half, as these planets will progress into the second half over the coming weeks. So you're looking at where 2 to 16 degrees Gemini is, and especially 16 for the Moon, the Sun and Venus. Bringing up from the subconscious Moon to the light Sun, Venus, self-love and value. Mars has been travelling through Aries, bringing quite a hot-headed dynamic, which could be the reactionary. If something's said, if something's happening, then the desire to react quickly from the lower self, from the ego, has been strong over the past few weeks. But Mars will move into Taurus at the end of the week, which is a slower, stronger, more stable combination, but could also bring a bit of stubbornness. We notice the lower will when we can't be bothered to wait for astrological timing and we just have a tantrum because something isn't happening quick enough, or somebody isn't acting the way that we want them to. This is the kind of energy that Mars in Aries has brought. Impatience, trying to control others, driving forward our lower will. So when Mars goes into Taurus, if that behaviour and belief is still standing, then this is where people can dig their heels in and start insisting that things go a certain way. But if we are elevating our very view of who we are and what relationships are and what other people are to us, then it can actually light the heart spark, can actually rekindle a good relationship from appreciation, compassion, grace and presence. So those would be the two aspects of Mars in Taurus. Is this digging down, staying stubborn and making things worse? Or is this letting go and lighting the torch and appreciating what we really have in ourselves with the other person and growing our garden, our shared ground together on a daily basis? So that will be good to counteract all the headiness of Gemini. And then we've got Neptune at the very last degree of the zodiac, heading towards a move over the equinox point into Aries next March, which is equinox time, really lifting us up to start to see ourselves and others as souls. Every significant person you've met, you've probably contracted in between lives to play certain roles. So can we be grateful for that? Can we see it from that perspective? Can we learn what we intended to learn? And can we raise our frequency accordingly so that we can have soul flow, peace and harmony? And Pluto in Aquarius is taking us on the deepest journey of all, which is frequency. If you want to change to the outside, you've got to master your own vibration. So really, very strong couple of weeks coming up, reflecting inwards on our part in any arguments, challenges, issues that arise, letting go of the old templates, not holding people to contract to be something that we want them to be, but setting them free to be the expression of their unique selves, appreciating our own, and then find where the flow is in that connection. So if you'd like to see where this is happening for you, I am available, zoehines7@gmail.com. You can look at relationships, compare charts, look at any blocks and resistance, anything that's holding you back from your highest expression. Look at the energy for the month ahead, specific to you and how you can harness that, and much more. So do get in contact if you'd like a reading. You can learn astrology and tarot, and I do customised coaching to get to the root of anything that you're ready to dig up and release. These videos are posted on YouTube, Zoe Astro. Please do like, share and comment if you feel called to. And links are posted on Instagram, zoehines7, and Facebook, AstroZo. So all eyes really on the first half of Gemini in your chart. Which house is that? What planets have you got there? Keeping eyes open and ears open, learning that half of communication, if not more than half of communication, is actually listening and taking away our agenda or attachment so that we can actually see what the other person is really trying to tell us and feel the energy as it uniquely flows, rather than trying to force it to be something that it's not. So relationship with source, relationship with your soul self, and then the ability to have true harmonious relating with others is the theme of the week, and deleting anything lower than that that's getting in the way and causing friction will be the best focus of our energy under the new moon in Gemini, with Venus in the mix, and as the moon grows over the next 2 weeks. So wishing you a wonderful week. I'll see you next week.